YouTube. Last time we ended off in such a fantastic spot, getting to meet Carl. But I have a question for y'all before we go into this, which is how much free will do the androids actually have? And in your position, in where you are today, do you think the androids should have more free will, or should they just listen to every single command that you have to say? For example, Alexa, play Despacito, or Siri, play Despacito. And if it does play it for you, congratulations. It just obeyed me. No, but seriously, we got to meet such amazing characters. Dude, we got to meet such amazing characters. Oh no, I triggered some of you guys. Triggered some of the bots. It worked, YouTube. It worked. We got to meet such amazing characters. Like, I was just telling them earlier before I hit the record button here. Carl, like, honestly, the relationship that they have with Marcus, it is so amazing. It is so amazing. The fact that we have someone that's able to go ahead and, like, not discriminate against an android and treat them at a layer of empathy, right? Of compassion, and really bring them in like family. For me, that says everything. That says absolutely everything. If someone's able to go ahead and meet you where you're at, right, and see you for who you are and what you may have to offer, that is an amazing relationship to have, a mutually benefit relationship. Carl's the oldest, coolest grandpa, yeah? I'm just afraid. I'm afraid of the way that, like, the very beginning, right, that, like, Carl keeps alluding to their age, right? And, you know, oh, well, I've already told everything I needed to tell. But it scares me because of this, right? This is Erickson's psychosocial developmental stages, right? Any good by the way, let me touch on this, right? If you see any other therapists, any other psychologists jumping on through to do the series, they should go in depth and talk about their decision making and not talk in poetics, okay? What I mean by this is, I'm not gonna go in here and be like, you see, the sky is blue, you know, and like, with nothing to back it up. I showcase every single chart, every single thing that I'm thinking about, along with all the theories behind it for a specific reason. You guys can track my reasoning. It's grounded in psychological theories. If it's not, and it's poeticism, beware of the poeticist. Straight up. Where's Carl at? Carl is in their in the maturity stages, right? So what are they looking at? Have they lived a full life, right? Have they lived a full life, and have they provided something of real value? What do you think, chat? I would say that, yeah, their art definitely provides something of real value towards probably society as a whole, right? Have they lived a full life? Well, Carl kind of says that they did. Now, the reason why that scares me is because when you have yes and yes aligned, well, even if you had no aligned and you passed away, it is what it is at that point in time. But when you have yes and yes aligned, what happens to a lot of older people? And this happens as you get older, and it's such a sad thing, and it breaks my heart to see it often. As you get older, all it takes is one bad fall. One hip break, one displacement, you're like whatnot. Guess what? Our physical body is very much tied to our mental state. And when something happens, especially as we're older, you start to see the decline in elderly population. He's even in a wheelchair. Do they start to maybe give up? Yeah. Yeah, so you start to see just an automatic decline going down in physical and mental health. And for me, that scares me. It scares me because he's already doing what a lot of people do. And this is one of the key signs. And I want you to be very focused on this, okay? Like, I want you to lock in, okay? Lock in with me. What is the one thing that he does and that he's kind of saying and doing with Marcus that all of you, especially if you're into mental health or you're trying to go ahead and understand the characters better, should be aware of? Chat, take a guess. One of the things that he was doing, that he was saying, that, you know, whatnot, and it was coming to me like, you know, over the past couple of days as I was like thinking about it, I'm like, that this game is so well written. It's something that a lot of people do when they're ready to transition. they start trying to go ahead and give other people meaning, giving their stuff away. I have nothing left to give. You know, one day I won't be there to protect you anymore. Yup. Yup. They're getting ready to die. Yup. Crazy, isn't it? Like, it took me, like, I was laying in bed and I was replaying the scenes in my head, and I'm like, oh my God. The entire time, Carl is starting to prep, and not just by saying it overtly, right? By saying, I'm gonna die, these paintings might be meaningless, you know, but legitimately by walking us as the player through it, right? By saying, like, hey, I want you to paint. Marcus, paint. Oh, yeah, makes sense when you're old and chronically ill. Someone's gonna. It is, Kristen. So both, and this is why it's one of those signs that, like, you need to understand and see on both sides, right? When you're getting older, and at the same time, if it just comes suddenly, right? Another one that, like, really highlighted it for me. We don't know the full depth of the relationship between Carl and their kid. At the moment, it doesn't look good. Yeah. It does not look good in any capacity. It looks unhealthy and it looks very one sided, where his kid just really wants, you know, the money. You know, gotta go get that or whatever they're into. How many of you know that would be considered? I know how many of you would know that is actually considered elder abuse? Even if your parents are of sound mind, body, whatnot, if it's a continuous issue, a persistent, prevalent issue that is happening where someone is getting money, right, or extorting money from, you know, your parents, or, you know, you're doing it, it might be considered elder abuse, because that's one of the things as therapists that we're constantly looking out for. And as mandated reporters, guess what we have to do? If like, let's say your mom goes to therapy, right? Your grandma goes to therapy, and she's like, oh, well, you know, my grandson or my son came over and I had to give him $3,000. Ding, 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 ding. Something's going off here. All my red flags are, why so? Oh, well, it's for drugs. How often do you do this? Once every 3 months. Yep. With grandparents losing their memories and stuff like that, that would be a call for individuals to go and check and see, you know, what's going on, why is that going on, so on and so forth. Okay, so that was a Carl Marcus thing. I love it. Great. Phenomenal. Jumping on to the other one. And I was having a little bit of nightmares here, and it's kind of making me wonder. For Alice and Kara and Todd, can we talk a little bit about that? Can we talk? How many of you, when you first played the game, absolutely felt anxious, and maybe it relived something in you, and you felt like watching everything? I know I did. Straight up, I know I did. I know going through this, I was like, oh my God, like, this is so. Yeah, because it reminds us of events or families or things that we've gone through, you know, and that's such a big one, right? Now, here's something that was popping up. Unfortunately, I don't think I got the time to do it then, so I'm going to do it now, just a little bit before we continue, right? Here's sort of where it's coming through with this, right? How old is Todd? Do we know? He's somewhere around what, like 40 to 65, somewhere around there, right? So we're going to look at both. Failure results in loneliness and isolation. Will I provide something of real value? Success leads to feelings of usefulness and accomplishments. Failure results in shallow involvement of the world. So you take a look at the one before and the one after, or the one during, and what do we see? Have I lived a full life? Failure results in bitterness and despair. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. When you start looking at all the things and you start seeing aspects of failure that might have been met, and it's making me wonder if it wasn't just all economic, where everything just went to shit, and all these milestones just felt like a failure after failure after failure, you know, where it's like you try and get yourself out of a hole and you just keep slipping, you know, by digging the hole bigger for yourself. And with this, it kind of brought something else out for me, and I'm not quite sure. The drugs that they're using, is that causing paranoia? Is that causing, aspects of paranoia? And the more that, like, because any sort of addictive substance or any sort of medication or anything that you use can have an effect on you. Now, there's a lot of drugs out there that over a period of time you can develop anything really. You can go from schizophrenic to you name it, right? Paranoia, paranoid thoughts, delusions, hallucinations. We've already talked a little bit about their coping mechanisms, how they displace out there. But you take all of this into consideration, it's making me wonder, when is it going to be enough for him? And even more so, if he's already gone through and destroyed Kara, until when before he puts his hand on Alice? Until when before, it's not enough? He's already aggressively lifted her. Yep, he's already crossing that boundary time and time again and projecting and displacing into them, She's already bleeding in one of them. Yeah, I'm so scared as to where this is going to go and how manipulative they can be or they can get. Because I can imagine them, like, even faking being hurt after hurting them and them being like, oh, Dad's hurt. Oh, you hurt, Daddy. Oh, come, like, let's make up, like trying to go ahead and, like, because whenever you've been with an emotionally manipulative parent, you get to see that side of things, and it's making me wonder, if they were to do an action that's horrible like that, would they take it that far? I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen and all my non-binary pals, let's do it. Let's jump into it. Detroit, Become Human. Oh, so good. Thank you for recommending this game, everyone. I hope, legitimately, I hope you guys have been enjoying the playthrough so far, analysis, the conversations that we have, everything like that. For me, it's been an absolute honor. And that's just one thing that, like, I'm even asking my mods, like, am I doing a good enough job? I don't know. I don't know if it's entertaining enough for y'all. I hope that it is, because I'm like, fuck, there's a lot. Let's do it. Hello.
I haven't seen you for a while. It's good to have you back.
It's been a couple of days. How you doing, though? Hope you're being amazing. Hope you're taking good care of yourself. All right, let's continue, shall we? November 5th, 2038. Remember the 5th of November. Welcome to Jimmy's Bar. Yo! We're back with my main man? No androids allowed. Oh no. Lieutenant Anderson. Hello? I know it said no android allowed, but housekeeping?
Shit, I thought androids weren't allowed in here.
Hey! Imagine experiencing that. If you've never experienced direct discrimination like that, let me tell you, it's not fun. I got to experience this actually here in the United States, which is weird, right? Weird to say. We're supposed to be, free and open, but I got to experience this here and also in my time in Europe, walking in and, people thinking that I was of another race when, in case y'all don't know, I'm Mexican American. And it's just absolutely awful getting to hear some of the discrimination and the experiences that come out of it, where yes, they are an android, and yes, they might not be fully showcasing all of their emotions in their face, but you have to remember, right, you can still process things and process pain and process hurt. There's a lot that comes through with it, and one of those big issues is this clash that's happening between, like, the androids and humans, kind of like a rejection even of our own selves, right? Like, we fear what we create in the same way, like, and we don't want them to, we don't want to even be around them, in that same avenue, in that same aspect. Do you think that that's a direct symbolism for a lot of things, where You know, we fear what we don't fully understand, what we don't fully know. Even things, right? Androids, AI. Granted, by the way, not into AI. Don't even get me started. I think that all art should be done by actual artists, not AI. That's why all the thumbnails and stuff is probably, you know, any of these amazing individuals here in chat. Not a huge fan of learning language models or anything like that, you know. But whenever I take a look at instances like this, it's like how many individuals actually understand what's out there versus how many individuals just fearmonger, right? How many individuals just go by what people are saying, and how many individuals actually research to try and understand and get a better hold of their own positions. And a lot of individuals will just learn to fear what they don't know rather than try and understand and form their own opinion. Hello. Ooh. Peterson Jimmy. Born 2001. Hey, yo. Derek Myers, security guard. None. 1989. Oh, you're kind of hidden, but. Edward Dempsey, criminal record. None. He's an admin. Jonah Graham, unemployed. That's right. The unemployment rate's really high, right? DUI. Sorry. Gotta take you back. DUI. Unemployed as well. Actually, good question. If you got a criminal record, how difficult would it be for you to, like, considering unemployment's already horrible in this world, but how much more difficult would it be for you to find, like, any form of employment in this world? It'd be, like, really impossible, wouldn't it? Oh, God. Hello? What's your name? Kim. Domestic abuse. Oh, no. Unemployed. Narcotic supplier. Dennis. Chris. Unemployed. Yes. Samuel. Docker. Unemployed.
Hey, get out of here.
Oh, damn. All right. Hello. I'm looking for Mr. Anderson, I think. Mr. Anderson? Hello? Oh? At the end of the day, it's still you. Oh! Did I miss you? Oh, I missed you! Mr. Anderson! Hello!
Lieutenant Anderson, my name is Connor. I'm the android sent by CyberLife. I looked for you at the station, but nobody knew where you were.
Ooh.
They said you were probably having a drink nearby. I was lucky to find you at the 5th bar.
At the 5th bar!
What do you want?
You were assigned a case early this evening. A homicide involving a CyberLife android. In accordance with procedure, the company has allocated a specialized model to assist investigators.
Sure.
Well, I don't need any assistance. Especially not from a plastic asshole like you. Just be a good little robot and get the fuck out of here.
Fuck. You know what? Let me try and reason a little bit. Let me try and reason a little bit.
Listen, I think you should stop drinking and come with me. It'll make life easier for both of us.
Or you can just fuck off.
I understand that some people are not comfortable.
Yeah,
with
I'm an
presence of
android.
androids,
I get it.
But
I am perfectly comfortable. Now back off before I crush you like an empty beer can.
Damn! You know what? Get him another. Get him a drink. Tequila. Please.
You know what? I'll buy you one for the road. What do you say? Bartender, the same again, please.
See that, Jim? Wonders of technology. Make it a double.
That's what you gotta do. He reminds me of my psychology professor. My social psychology professor.
Did you say homicide?
Feeling good, Mr. Anderson? So why do you think I went that way? Two reasons, right? Number one, and it's making me wonder a couple of things. We'll get to it. Rapport building. Exactly. Almost immediately. If you go to a bar and you really want to connect with someone, there's a couple of key tricks to trying to understand. Number one, most of our communication is done through nonverbal body language. And that is something, unfortunately, that for some of these androids, they're going to have to go and get to. But number two, understanding what they're doing and what is important to them. For Lieutenant Anderson, at this point in time, having his drink and finishing his drink was more important than homicide, than going to that thing. So if I want to get this done, right, we have to do a foot in the door. I bought you a drink. You feel like now even just a tiny little bit in your brain, I've done something good for you. Now we can come to equal ground and get what we need to do done, right? It's a good way of opening up, of breaking bread, of saying, hey, I see you there. I understand. I'm an android. You're not comfortable with it. But let me buy you a beer. Maybe we can at least be neutral. Gift giving. Exactly. Birds, animals do this all the time. It's literally just a way, at least in this instance, to try and build rapport. Now, comes in a question that I do have, and as well as to why I tried to reason first and then went with this. What do you guys think? I just knew you would give. Of course. He reminds me so much of my social psychology professor. So when I was doing my master's degree a long time ago, my social psychology professor, one of them, was like, hey, we're going to do social psychology. Now, for this social psychology aspect of things, we're going to go to a bar. And he's like, by the end of the night, you'll have to 3 or 4 in the morning when it closes. I want you to get rejected 100 times. And he would just sit there, drink. He didn't really care. This was in Europe. He didn't really care. Take notes. Just go ham, right? Like, and if you get rejected, 0, because everyone, exactly. What do you think that teaches someone, especially like as you're learning? It teaches you how to read people. It teaches you how to understand and frame your approach, what body language does to someone. I'll be honest with you, you learn to take rejection like no tomorrow. I was literally walking through just to say hi to someone, right? And they were like, legitimately, like, you know how in the movies they're like, ew, no, gross, right? Like, legit had like a girl say that out loud, and I was trying to just be friendly. I wasn't even trying to like flirt with them or anything like that. And so, I had gotten rejected so many times of people just being like, no, what not? You don't know what I did? I was like, straight up, you over dramatize it all the way to the top. And you're like, no, Maria, ¿por qué, Maria? The love of my life. Like over the top, you stop caring about rejection. It gets to a point where like you will literally take it and just like, okay, end. I'll probably never see you again. There's 7 billion other people out there, that I can try and go ahead and get to know, or at least become friends with in some capacity. Once you start like taking it and seeing it through that perspective, it changes you, right? And for him, what was really interesting is I wanted to understand his logic as to why we were doing this before anyone else, because everyone else just scurried and they didn't really pay attention to it. And so I bought him a drink. And as soon as I bought him a drink, I'm like, technically, I got my first yes from you. And he was like, I don't know how to put it, like, the surprised Pikachu face? He was like, you're the first student in my time teaching here that has ever done that has ever come through and like actually seen that as an opportunity. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't give a shit, dude. Like, so... absolutely amazing. Remember, nonverbal body language is super duper important. Mirroring gestures, whatever is happening, they're super duper important in that regard. And at the same time, your approach. Now, don't use this bad if you're using this to manipulate people, okay? If you ever want to make someone feel super duper extra comfortable when you're talking to them, match their pauses. Match their gestures that they're doing with their hands. Even don't go the entire way, right? Match some of the gestures. Yeah, you've ever had a person that you met, a stranger that you met, and you're like, I feel like I've known you my entire life. That's probably because there was some sort of mirroring that was happening and your brain linked it. I instinctively copy anyone I talk to for a long period of time. Yep. Pauses, breath, laughs, right? Knowing a little bit of mirroring, not to the 100% like, exactly right, but just being able to softly lay it down enables that. So going through this approach, trying to get Mr. Anderson here, what do? I'm trying to establish a layer of trust. What if you guys are just in a mirror circle? Yep. All right, let's go into it. Oof. Ah, shit. Here's the popo.
You wait here.
My instructions are to accompany you to the crime scene.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't give a fuck about your instructions. I told you to wait here. So you shut the fuck up and you wait here.
Actually,
Douglas for Channel 16.
no.
I'm not confirming anything.
Why is this the only house that doesn't have 2 floors, chat? 2 floor, 2 floor, 2 floor. 1 floor. Well, there's a little window up there, I guess.
Androids are not permitted beyond this point.
It's with me.
It's with me. Oh.
What part of staying in the car didn't you understand?
Your order contradicted my instructions, Lieutenant.
You don't talk, you don't touch anything, and you stay out of my way. Got it?
Got it.
Evening, Hank. We were starting to think you weren't going to show.
Yeah, that was the plan till this asshole found me.
So, got yourself an android, huh?
Oh, very funny. Just tell me what happened.
We had a call around 8 from the landlord. The tenant hadn't paid his rent for a few months, so he thought he'd drop by, see what was going on.
Huh. This does not look like a stable, secure environment to be in.
That's when he found the body.
Okay.
The smell was even worse before we opened the windows. The victim's
Ooh.
name's Carlos Ortiz.
Mr.
He
Ortiz.
has a record for theft and aggravated assault.
Theft and aggravated assault. Let's touch on this. There's already the crime scene investigation unit on here, the CSI. But with this, people, when you die, you reek. And depending on how many days it's been out, it's only going to get worse. In case you guys are wondering, Ed, have you ever seen a dead body? Yes. I mentioned this before, but sometimes working at the level that I was working at, as a crisis, specialist, as an individual working directly with like the homeless population, so on and so forth, housing, there was many a times where I had to walk into a unit, and sometimes a person would took their life, and it had been a couple of days, right? So sometimes getting to encounter the smell and the different elements and different things that go into it can be pretty common, in that regard. It's interesting though that, like, I don't know how else to put it. No one really noticed or really called it in, because if it's been a couple of days, why did it take so long? Like that. Oh well, I'm reading it. According to the neighbors, he was kind of a loner.
According to the neighbors, he was kind of a loner. Stayed inside most of the time. They hardly ever saw him.
Well, stayed easy in. Maybe worth calling everybody out in the middle of the night.
Oof.
Waited till morning.
I'd say he's been there for a good 3 weeks.
Ugh.
More when the coroner gets here. There's a kitchen knife over here. Probably the murder weapon.
Probably.
Any sign of a break-in?
Nope. The landlord said the front door was locked from the inside. All the windows were boarded up. The killer must have gone out the back way.
What do we know about his android?
Not much. The neighbors confirmed he had one, but it wasn't here when we arrived. I gotta get some air. Make yourself at
Yeah.
home. I'll be outside if you need me.
All right, well, while I am alive. It's a really weird thing for someone to just, like, drop. Oh, no. Red ice. So the victim was using drugs, and specifically red ice, which is now scaring me even further, because everything compounds together.
Each letter is perfect. It's way too neat. No human writes like this.
No fingerprint, android involvement. Oh.
Oh, Jesus. What the hell are you doing?
I'm analyzing the blood. I can check samples in real time.
Oh, Connor.
Sorry. I should have warned you.
Okay, just don't put any more evidence in your mouth. You got it?
Got it.
Got it.
Fucking hell, I can't believe this shit.
The cursed ketchup. Okay. Ooh. So it's been it's been a good number. Oh, well, apparently they like to go party hard. Here's the thing. This doesn't surprise me. An individual that's getting into red ice and going into, adult clubs and stuff like that, it doesn't surprise me. Because oftentimes, whether it's addiction or sexuality, right? When we start reaching those moments of extremes, what do you think? The bottom, the yellow and red, we go ahead and take those two extremes as well. So whether it's sex, right? Food, where some people just get all they want to do is eat, right? Hedonism, yeah. Sleep. Some people, depression becomes so real that they struggle with any motivation or anything like that. And at times, guess what? When you're in that fight or flight state, and you might not fully realize it, you can get migraines as well. You can be in a chronic state of freeze and not know that, for example, if you've ever struggled with or you struggle with procrastination, you might be so overwhelmed by your environment, by your own thoughts, by I need to get a job, I need to do this, I need to do that you're in a constant state of freeze, that ultimately the only things that really feel good to you are sleeping and eating. And yet, anytime that you're up, awake, and active, your brain's like migraine, you're fatigued, you feel as though the only thing that you should do is follow those cycles, right? Again, sometimes our brains can operate in ways to help us, and at times it can operate in ways that just reinforce behavior that is not healthy. So food, drugs, water, sex, sleep, it can be quite a bit. This is why routines are important, and habits, good habits, are important to have as a coping mechanism, as a coping skill, Huh. Cyber life sands. Oh no. What about you, big guy? Carlos Ortiz, 5'6", 286 pounds. Estimated time of death, 11:30 p.m. You were on red ice, clearly. Yep. Oh. Criminal record, theft and aggravated assault. Sands? Internal bleeding, 28 stab wounds. Deceased for more than 19 days. All right. Whoa, hello? No! Well, the game got stabbed and it kicked us out. Okay, hold on. Please. Please. We were talking about sands. All right, let's see if it... Hold on. Hello? Oh, no. Hold on. Come on. Come on. I need you in that crime scene. Come on. Oh, yes. Alrighty, chat. Oh, whoa. Whoa! I guess I need to go and understand the rest, huh? Oh. Ah. Ah, you could see everything! They came from the kitchen! Ah, smart.
He was stabbed 28 times.
Yeah. Seems like the killer really had it in for him.
But why? That's
Consider it done, Lieutenant.
breaking news. Ed discovers the third dimension.
Hey, Mike, you finished taking samples there?
You gotta check everything. If you're going in here, one of the key things that you have to understand is doing full sweeps, right? Take a look at every single little thing because there might be something important. Whenever, for example, I had a client that whenever he was going into full psychosis, right, and he was in his high manic episodes, what do you think we would check? It's not just about going in there and like finding a way to get them to a safe like house if they're in outpatient therapy, right, to like an inpatient for a bit. What do you think that we would check? Legit everything. We would go on through history leading up to it. If they lived it in one of the houses and we had their permission, go on through and see everything. So sometimes, you know, when a person's mental health isn't like, you know, fully functioning in the way that it's supposed to, you can tell in the way that they treat their house, their environment, smell, food, all of this stuff. And I hope you're not eating right now, because when we come back after this break, I'll tell you a little bit more about some of the things that we've had to do and how to recognize certain steps. We'll be right back after this break. Let's do it. We'll be right back. So, as we were saying, right, I guess trigger warning here, right? You guys are about to hear some stuff, right? Individual going through a tough case of psychosis. There's a lot of auditory and visual hallucinations that they're having. You know, ended up going. It was summertime last year. You know, was it last year? A couple of years ago. It got to a point where it was 120 degrees outside. There was a monsoon, so rain was flooding through, and the drainage system wasn't working. Water was starting to come back up. I was called into action. Go in. First thing I do, you know, with a couple of the other individuals, the case manager, their therapist, whatnot, show up to try and get them to evacuate, to get them to a safe place, because the water that the city is supposed to have drainage, proper drainage, isn't draining, so it's coming back up and it's starting to go into their apartments at 120 degree weather. Just because it's raining doesn't mean it's colder. Open the door, and a wave, it's like you could see a wave just come and hit you. Of smell, feces everywhere, feces art, feces you know, writing, right? Because, and they weren't opening the door to anyone, not even their parents or loved ones that were coming through and doing like check-ins, and we're trying to do check-ins because their auditory and visual hallucinations were telling them that no, that they're not your parents, they're not your loved ones, right? So all of that, like, and you got to remember, it's 120 degree weather and it's been cooking, and they haven't like really put on the AC, right? So the AC really hasn't been on. They were running on like apparently limited water, or like cooling themselves off with the water. And from time to time, they would turn on the AC. I don't know how they were doing it, but it was like a huge aspect of stuff. Cool. We got them out. It is what it is. Get them to safety. Then comes in the real question. What is going on? Why are they, you know, because they weren't acting this way beforehand. They were A-okay. They had, you know, they had employment and everything that went down the hill about a couple months ago. So I start walking in, right? And it was very interesting to see how people are afraid of even like the smallest things, right? With me, it's like, all right, we got to understand what's going on in order to fully like, you know, conceptualize everything. I walk into their bedroom. Same thing. Art on the walls. And by art, you guys know what I'm talking about. The box spring, they had broken it and they had put their bed on the floor where the water was now starting to rush in, because for them, the box spring, according to their delusions, was a way for the aliens to keep them under their control. And, you know, they could tell you a whole narrative about things, right? Okay. Looking through, trying to find what's going on. The clothing is all kind of bundled up and thrown into the closet. Restroom, don't even want to go in there. And as we're going through, in one small closet or one small cabinet, I find all of their meds. They hadn't been taking their meds for the past couple of months. Combine everything going on through without medication, without aspects, you know, of like, you know, their home health provider checking in, all the other support systems that were supposed to be active and checking in. It just started compounding and getting worse. And it got to a point where he couldn't trust anyone or nothing. And this water's rushing in. People are trying to get inside to get him out. He doesn't trust them because the voices are telling him no. When you look at things, this is why I say you have to pay attention to every nook and cranny, because they will have vital information. If I didn't check those drawers to find out like, hey, they haven't been taking their medication, guess what? Now, when they go inpatient or whenever we try and get them help, we don't know if they might OD. We don't know what's happening in that regard. And ultimately, there might be prescribers that just go way hard on the medications and that ends up completely turning them into a zombie. You know, some medication have very, very strong effects where it just completely dulls you. So it was a lot to walk into. It was very heartbreaking, but at the same time, very humbling. It made me kind of grossed out of a lot of providers, because there's so many providers out there that like legitimately their health home, people that were supposed to be checking in on them, that wouldn't take a step inside because it smelled bad, because there's poop on the floor. They're like, no. And it's like, hey, otherwise, how will you know what's going on? How will you know if there's check-throughs or where their medication's at or what is actually going on in their head, what they're seeing or understanding? They're like, no, it's nasty. It's disgusting. And like the small comments that some providers make, and you're like, that's your job. Yeah. At the end of the day, you're supposed to be empathetic and care for people. And if once you truly empathize and care for others, you're able to understand the full story, right? Theft and aggravated assault here. Signs of a struggle, yeah. Android sex life officially better. Sorry, ladies. Plastic can't be beat. Mark Water and Nancy's Ray stick together. All right, let's see. Android sex is officially better. The results of our survey is in, and it's official. 68% of men prefer sex with an android than to a real woman. And with 52% of men saying they've tried to experience the experience at least once, that's a lot of android love to go around. There were a few reasons given for this preference, but we think we know the real reason. Androids don't want to talk about their feelings afterwards. This story was sponsored by Eden Club. Discretion is our middle name. It was a sex club. Let's talk about this because that's a lore drop. That's something important to touch on. This might be way out of hand here, but you guys might be like, bro, what the fuck? We need to talk on it because sex is an aspect of psychology. It's called sexology in psychology. Because ultimately, what is that showcasing? And unfortunately, I hate to put it this way, I think that like if you're in a relationship with an individual in this time period and they're preferring to, at this point in time, you know, call it an it instead of a she or a he that they're having sex with, the androids, imagine what's happening in there, right? oftentimes within society, we have this deviation. I like to go into this because it's a lot of individuals don't seem to understand it, right? I often like to say, even though it's kind of controversial at times because individuals are like, don't glorify asexuals, don't tell them that they have a superpower. Well, in a big way, they have their needs for sex, their base needs, which is highlighted by Maslow's hierarchy of needs, already met. This one, boom, met. They don't even need to worry about it because for them, it's so little, drastically little, that it's already met in that regard. So for our ace friends, they're already there. A majority of society, when it comes to sex, they're right around in the middle. So what is each side called? On this side and on this side. On this side, you have hyposexuality. On the other side, you have hypersexuality. Now, when it comes to this in particular, this is where you got to be very, very careful, and very interesting that they're bringing up androids as this thing. When there's an introduction that changes the way that we do sex, right? Whether it's, say like self-sex or sex with others, we need to understand that it's going to shift this. And in fact, the way that I see it with elements like this happening is I actually see society bouncing off more like this and changing into more of a skewed slant here, where maybe society doesn't peak. Well, if that's the original society, maybe new society would try and slant towards hypersexuality. Because now, and what does that mean? If there's a slant within our normal parameters, it means that we start developing new forms of sex, new kinks, new paraphilias, right? Different ways to try and introduce pleasure to ourselves and to others. However, that changes relationship dynamics. The need is automatically met for a lot of individuals, Aceling, or it's so little that simply waking up in the mornings meets that need for certain individuals, right? So what does that mean? Well, all of this would change. This is the periodic table of kink, right? And it goes over different aspects as to what makes a healthy sex life. And this is within the normal standard aspects of society that individuals come through. And there's even paraphilias. Well, guess what? Because now we have androids, the paraphilia list here would probably get bigger. And it would probably start exacerbating where all of a sudden individuals can't do things with normal human relationships that they can do with androids. Consider that for a second. Yes, this is a real thing. The periodic table of kinks, made by the company Uber Kinky, very, very well laid out in that aspect. Way bigger than you'd imagine. And take the time that's for your own self-research, whatever you guys got to do to understand yourself and others. Now, can androids consent? First and foremost. Number two, great question, Buttery. How does that change dynamics? Because we already have this debate with teenagers and whatnot getting influenced by porn as to what is normal sex. Now, can you imagine that with the aspect as to things that androids can do that normal human relationships can? Imagine someone growing up in this environment and all of a sudden, oh, but that's an it, and I can do this with it. Why can't I do this with you when it's a normal? Ooh. Can you imagine the amount of unhealthy relationships that can start forming out of this, and unhealthy sexual relationships that can essentially start elevating itself through the relationship standards for everyone? I can already tell you, in just looking at this, if there is no education from the aspects of things in the unemployment rate, I can tell you right now, there's probably going to be a lot of abuse that's happening. Yeah, It would get extremely dark. There would be so much abuse, active abuse that was probably happening because the layer as to what keeps society from understanding consent, understanding, the differences between hyper and hypersexuality, our asexual friends, all of this stuff kind of keeps everything in the flow. When androids start getting introduced and the concept of paraphilias or different styles of kinks starts getting out there, all of a sudden normal sex starts looking boring and individuals start trying to bring this type of sex over to normal sexual relationships, and it's going to be rough. No need for things like aftercare or boundaries with androids. Sorry, chat. Sometimes this is a mature discussion. I hope you guys are A-okay with it because it needs to be said, and it's a conversation that needs to happen because ultimately you can't just brush that off, knowing for a fact that more than likely you have young kids, teenagers, and adults growing up and internalizing, oh, but I could do this with the android and the android doesn't fight back. The android will do this, this, and this. Why can't you do that? Well, do people stop trying to form relationships with other humans and just seek out needs with androids? Because it meets their basic needs. Yep. I will take my aftercare. Thank you. Anyway, let's go. Is your android spying on you? CyberLife could be using its androids to collect information. Is your android spying on you? More and more experts are suggesting that CyberLife uses its 120 million androids to record details of private conversations to potentially be used for nefarious purposes. The spate of reports linking Warren's presidency to CyberLife deepens concerns. Oh no. Oh no. They're probably selling that data to advertisers. I see that. Ortiz, Carlos. Oh, don't tell me that Carlos actually tried to go after the android here, and the android just simply was like defending itself. Yep. Deviant took a knife. Deviant was attacked. Emotional shock. Bam. 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 He grabbed the knife to protect himself and slink. Fight or flight. About 28 stabs for self-defense seems emotionally charged. Yeah. Whoa. Model K52, less than 60 minutes
Door was
ago.
locked from the inside. Killer must have gone out this way.
There are no footprints apart from Officer Collins' size 10 shoes.
Well, this happened weeks ago. Tracks could have faded.
No, this type of soil would retain a trace. Nobody's been out here for a long time.
Deviant didn't escape this way. Whoa! Okay. Obsessive writing. What is RA9? Whoa! Are we doing some black magic? Hold on. We doing some brujeria? Guys? Have you checked up there? Hello? Coppers? Housekeeping? Housekeeping? Hello? Anyone check the attic? Yeah, anyone check the attic, bro? Alright.
Lieutenant, I think I figured out what happened.
Oh,
I think
yeah?
I do too.
Shoot, I'm all ears.
Okay, let's do
It
it.
all started
It all started in the kitchen.
in the kitchen.
There are obvious signs of a struggle. The question is, what exactly happened here?
I think the victim attacked the android
With the
With
bat.
the bat.
That lines up with the evidence. Go on.
The android stabbed the victim.
So the android was trying to defend itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then what happened?
The victim fled to the living room.
Okay, yeah. Toss it down, slap slash. It was about to ult. Ult. Boom.
And he tried to get away from the android. All right, that makes sense.
The android murdered the victim
With the knife.
with the knife.
It ulted. It hit Q.
Okay,
Yeah.
your theory's not totally ridiculous, but it doesn't tell us where the android went.
It was damaged by the bat and lost some therium.
Lost some what?
Therium. You call it blue blood. It's the fluid that powers androids' biocomponents. It evaporates after a few hours and becomes invisible to the naked eye.
Sure. That's
I bet you can still see it, can't you?
Correct.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. I think I know where they might be. All these cops, they're following gamer mode, logic. You don't look up. You don't look up. I have a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. It's in the attic. You guys are ridiculous. I love y'all. Follow the blue trail. Maybe there's a reason why the cops are getting replaced by androids. Hello? A ladder was used. Well, behind curtain number 1. Ha 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 ha. Okay, here we go. Hello, housekeeping. This is Connor, housekeeping. Housekeeping. Hello. Better not be any creepy androids or anything up here. Ah. Ah. There you are. Oh, it's just a creepy doll. Yeah, it's totally normal to have in your attic here. Hello? Oh no. Oh no, let me get the holy water too while I'm at it, Connor. Damn. Sorry, Lieutenant, I got scared. I ran away. There was no hot dogs up there. Hot dog? Hello? Ah!
I was just defending myself.
We put it together, my friend, yes.
He was gonna kill me. I'm begging you. Don't tell him.
Oh. Oh.
Connor, what the fuck is going on up there?
It's here, Lieutenant!
Oh.
Oh, shit. Chris, Ben, get your asses in here now.
We didn't even get a choice. We didn't even get a choice for that. Connor chose for us. Yeah, and the fact that there was no choice in there is interesting. I think we did pretty good though. Like not that there couldn't be anything else going on, but still really interesting, like choice dialogue there. What do you guys think? For me, I think this is really important in defining this relationship, and it feels like with Connor and Lieutenant Anderson here, it's really about like gaining trust. And I think Lieutenant Anderson doesn't fully trust us, but with this, we start establishing this aspect of establishing this rapport, of establishing trust, of establishing like, hey, I'm ratting him out in the purpose, but we can connect with one another, right? Honestly, I would probably report it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I would probably report it just because we don't know what went wrong. And I do have a question for you, and it might be spoilers, and if it is, please don't answer. Does this mean like, and for androids altogether, do they keep like a memory bank or something? Is there some way to access all of this information? Because if it got to this point and it like where they used a bat, there's usually like, you know, there's steps of abuse, right? Abuse doesn't just genuinely happen from 0 to 100. Now there are cases where it does, but it tends to be small little things where you start seeing like, we made a good first impression, we showed we're competent and good at our job. Yeah, where you start seeing different aspects, right? Where like cuts, or for example, there was a young adult, I guess by that point in time, where they suffered a lot of abuse from their parents, but their parents would hide it, right? And it first started off with slapping, right? Physical altercation. Then from their like smoking, they would burn the cigarettes on the person's thighs, and then because of shorts and underwear and whatnot, it would cover a good portion of where those burns would be. So the abuse started escalating that way until it was no longer coverable, right? So it got to a point where a bat was needed. Was this just a fleet of the moment, or was this an escalation that kept happening? Was it because of red ice, or was there something else? Like how a computer saves files, right? It makes me wonder a lot about like how much information do these androids retain, and where is that information saved? Is it truly saved, or is it sent out to the president? We all know the president is getting all the information here. You know, like, oh no, absolutely awesome, dude. I felt like a detective, straight up. I felt like a detective. I felt like going in here and I'm like, this clue adds to this. And I like even discovering the hatch, like being like, hey, wait a minute, what's this? Like, what's this? Hello, housekeeping? Like, even I was like, hey, that's really, really fun. Alrighty, chat. Shall we continue? Oh no.
Todd?
Oh no.
Dinner is ready.
First thing, grab your pipe, right? I don't like this.
There wasn't much in the kitchen. I did what I could.
Oh, baby girl, take a seat. I got you. Turn on the light. Okay.
Turn on the lights!
I'm going.
See shit.
Well, damn. Let's take care of baby girl first.
Life's funny.
Here you go.
I lost my job because of androids.
Oh.
And when I need somebody to take care of this goddamn house, what do? I go out and hire a fucking android. What a joke.
You didn't have to, though.
Androids are so fucking wonderful. They never fail. They're never tired.
Oh.
They're sad. They're so fucking perfect. They ruined my fucking life. What are you looking at?
Oh.
What's your fucking problem?
No.
Not the life you dreamed of, eh? Maybe you think this is easy. Maybe you think it's my fault we live in this fucking shithole. My fault your fucking mother took off.
Todd.
You should stop taking drugs, Todd.
Yeah, you should.
Sometimes you really scare me, Todd. Fucking bitch took off without a word. Fucking whore walked out on me for a fucking accounting. It's all your fault.
Whoa!
Your fucking fault!
CP, Child Protective Services? Hello? No.
Here? Come back here right now! You stay there. Don't you dare fucking move, or I'll bust you worse than last time.
No, 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 no. I'm immediately moving. Here's the thing. You gotta act quick. Ugh. No. No. Yeah, that's... You could have been.
He's coming. He's gonna hurt me. Run! Get away, or he's gonna break you like last time.
Lock the room, lock the room.
Daddy's coming. You need to be taught a lesson.
Okay. Okay.
I have to find something.
Open this fucking door.
No, Carl! We'll fall!
It's the only way.
Come on.
Hurry.
Come on. Vámonos. Pa' afuera. La ventana. Let's go. Nope.
Carl!
Come back here right now!
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Get out. Come on. Let's go. 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 Vamos. Oh. We needed to get out, dude. We needed to get out. I got you. I got you. Oh. Oh. Here's the thing with this, right? As soon as the hit happened and they're rambling, they're psyching themselves up to do something worse. And that is the immediate step, that fight or flight of like, let's go now, right? No matter what, protection towards your kids should be the number one priority. I'm sure we missed a lot of important information about, you know, why he was separated and why the divorce happened and, you know, everything that might have come through with this, right? But at the end of the day, I handled it in the same way I would have at any point in time. Should I have seen this happen towards a kid? Should I have seen this happen with the kid? It's immediate aspect of, okay, we need to go ahead and get you to safety immediately. No matter what. Because ultimately what happens what happens in that manner if you don't, like, if you didn't step in? Then what? Alice gets beaten up. All of a sudden the cycle doesn't change. This individual, you know, is whining. Todd is whining about androids and about, like, oh, well, you know, I told him to stop doing drugs. And, you know, why do you have these androids then? To play house? Is this what it is for you? Is Kara just here and your kid here just to play house for you so that you can mistreat them and so that way you have a sense of feeling of being needed? Trying to reason with the person that's drunk or on drugs is not going to be as possible as people think. Exactly. Exactly. A lot of individuals think, oh yeah, well, I could reason with them, and I'm letting you guys know. No. Like, at times when individuals are high on their substance, you either A, have to wait for them to come down, or B, you know, have to get to safety. In a scenario like that, like, it is really, really difficult to reason with someone. That's why you can't do therapy with someone that's intoxicated or on substances. That's why for me, it was like, okay, you're going to turn your back. I'm going to move. I don't care. I'm going to move, and I'm going to try and get to safety, and I'm going to try and get Alice to safety no matter what. Might that have been the bad move? Who knows? I don't know where this game's going to take us, but oh my God, that was tense. That was tense. The environment, the storytelling, all of that. So, question. How many of you guys wish that maybe somebody had taken you to safety in one of those nights? How many of you all wish that maybe somebody actually was there for you and cared for you in that manner, or maybe something was going bad and, you know, actually showed up to help? Great game. Great game. What a way to get me to, like, start sweating just from that. Alien me. Yeah. But you got yourself out. There we go, Goff. That's awesome. You know, and it's not an easy journey. It never is. You know. Shall we continue? That was a short scene, but it was really good. That was a short scene, but it was really good. And showcased the amount of abuse and whatnot. And at the same time, doesn't this kind of parallel a little bit as to what happened with Connor's case? Red ice. The substance gets you going and it starts messing with you. And there's aspects of, like, paranoia and, like, all of these distortions that are coming through. We're back! Carl!
That was by far the most boring party I've been to in the last 25 years. Every time I go to one of these, I ask myself, what the hell am I doing here? I hate cocktail parties. All the schmoozers that go there.
Well, it's a chance for all those people who admire your work to meet you.
Yeah.
No one gives a damn about art.
Oh.
All they care about is how much money they're gonna make out of it. Come on, let's have a drink. Oh, the excitement of this whole thing has made me thirsty.
Sure. I love you, Carl.
Scotch? Neat as usual?
Absolutely.
Okay, but you know what your doctor would say.
Yeah, well, he can kiss my ass. I'm old enough to choose my own medication.
Carl reminds me so much of my grandma, especially in, like, her later years, where she's like, I'm gonna die anyway, who cares? And it's just like, all right, grandma. Like, their dynamic is untouchable. I love Carl.
Did you leave the light on in the studio?
No, I'm sure I didn't.
Call the police.
Detroit Police, what's your emergency?
This is Carl Manfred's android at 8941 Lafayette Avenue. We've just returned home and found the lights on. There may have been a break-in.
A patrol car is on the way.
Let's go check it out.
Yeah, hold on. Stay back, Carl. I got this. Hot dog! Hot dogs!
No, I'm gonna come with you.
Okay, Carl. I wanted to go in there. I'll take care of it, Carl. Oh, no.
Leo! What are you doing?
You refuse to help me, so I'm helping myself. It's crazy what some people pay for this shit.
Don't touch them.
Addiction is a hell of a drug,
They're all gonna
guys.
be mine sooner or later anyway. Just think of it as a down payment on my inheritance.
Marcus, get him away from there. Get him out of here.
Leo. Here's the thing. Addiction can make you do some stupid shit. Straight up. Like, and there's a lot of relapse, you know, when you're trying to recover from addiction. But addiction can literally make you sever all ties with family, with loved ones, with you name it, right? In that regard. That's why, like, but the aspect of change, is it for Red Ice? Yeah. The aspect of change needs to come from the individual. Question is, do you think that a lot of these, like, ooh, wasn't Todd supposed to meet someone for Red Ice or something? Is Todd Leo's dealer? Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah. Todd had Red Ice. Ortiz had Red Ice. Yeah. Was Todd being the supplier for all of these individuals? Oh, holy shit. Wait a minute. Oh, no. This is huge. We're going to be talking a lot about this. You know, we're trying to find a good place to go into this. Oh, all right. We continue. You know, I'm going to go ahead and advise you.
Listen,
dude.
You should go before things get worse.
All you ever do is tell me to go away. What's wrong, Dad? Not good enough for you? Not perfect, like this fucking thing?
Oh.
That's enough. Get out right now.
What makes it so special anyway, huh? What's it got that I don't?
Leave him alone.
Don't shove your dad like that. Ooh.
Marcus, don't defend yourself, you hear me? Don't do anything.
Go ahead, hit me. What you waiting for? Think you're a man? Act like one.
This is not fair.
Stop it. Doesn't matter too much.
You're
You're a pussy.
Stop it, Leo. Stop
Your
it.
dad.
Fight back, you fucking bitch.
Ooh. I'm sorry, Leo.
Oh, right. That's right. I forgot you're not a real person. You're just a fucking piece of plastic.
Oh, Leo, leave him alone.
Stop! You're affecting.
Destroy you. Then it'll just be me and my dad. I'm gonna tear you apart.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I didn't think push him like that! I thought, get away! No!
Oh my God. Leo.
Oh, Carl.
My little boy.
Carl,
No, Carl!
They'll destroy you, Marcus. You gotta go.
Oh,
Get out of here.
And Carl's still...
Carl,
I'm
didn't
sorry,
mean-
Carl.
Get out! Now! Go! Marcus!
Don't fucking move!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, what the Police mistook Marcus for the aggressor. I was afraid. You saw Carl. He was grabbing himself. You saw Carl was like grabbing himself. He was like going through it. I was just thinking like I have to defend, like, because if not, it's gonna affect Carl. It's gonna affect Carl. Who do I prioritize more, right? And in this instance, I thought, oh, push Leo was just like this, not like, oh, gosh, you know. Oh, even as an android. Oh no. And still, like the Carl's love. Think about this for a second, right? Carl's love to be coming through and still be worried about us and still telling us to get out of here. And Carl I know we just killed his son, and Carl's still being like, get out of here, like, get out of here, please, right? We're breaking through. You're seeing Marcus's thought process. Why? Right? What a powerful scene. That was a powerful scene. In a way, Carl lost two. Oh no! Oh, Elster, why'd you gotta put it like that? Elster, why'd you gotta put it like that? He still cared for us so much, despite losing his son, and Carl's right there for us. Oh, I was afraid. I'll be honest with you. I was afraid. I was afraid that if this continued, and maybe Leo lost control, and maybe he was gonna push Carl and hurt him. I was afraid. Leo was starting to clench down the way old people do when they're starting to feel pain. I was afraid for Carl. Straight up. My mind instantly went into, into defense mode. And I don't know. Maybe not the best choice. I'm sorry. I apologize. But ultimately, it is what it is there. My aunt and uncle's only son was an addict as well. Rip Marcus. Let's talk about this for a second, shall we? Or do you guys want to do one more and then we conceptualize everything in? Like, do a full analysis out of everything that we've seen and talked about? Because you guys are getting my thought process there by there. Because for me, looking at this, you saw everything that it was leading up to. That strong connection that Carl still has with Marcus, and ultimately the quick choices that life throws at you. All right, one more chat, and then we'll stop there and we'll talk about a full analysis out of everything that we've seen and captured. This game is fucking awesome, dude. Oh my god, I love games like this, like where there's so many extra choices and stuff you could have done, and like that is back with Connor.
Kill him. What happened before you took that knife?
Hold on.
How long were you in the attic? Why didn't you even try to run away?
Mr. Anderson.
Say something, goddammit.
And Mr. Anderson is supposed to be an expert. He's supposed to be a lieutenant. That's not how you do it. No. One of the things that I wanted to be before I kind of just really specialized in general populace, and I really was taking a big course into criminology, criminal psychology, is understanding how to go ahead and do interviews. And I'm pretty decent at it. First and foremost, you should always try and have two people there. Silly enough, the good cop, bad cop aspects of things, guess what? They work. They work for a reason, because ultimately you get to build rapport with one while the other one questions you. But if you're ever going to do this by yourself, you need to take a couple approaches. Number one, what do we see there at the table? Notes. You can even do this while being there. Now, let's bring this in. How intimidating is this, right? Before I even say a word. Wow. Really? Kimch. Let me show you some photos. Let's start off with what happened to our good friend Pincer. So, You see what I'm getting at? Tools, items can be really good for slowing things down. Silence is your friend. Taking a look, even though you might already know everything that's in there, bringing it down, establishing something, highlighting, like, you know, even if it's like building up tension, because that's what you need to do. You need to build up tension. You need to go ahead and talk about like what the situation is. Are you to blame? Or like, this is all going to fall on you, Kemp, ultimately, right? Try and build that trust through the evidence that you have in here. But like, I can protect you. I'm here for you. This says one thing. This is painting a horrible story, Kemp. But what is the actual story? Tell me about it. What contradicts this? I gotta know. If you want me to be on your side, Kimchip, if you're telling me all of this is a lie and that there's something better out there, I have to know in order to be able to be there for you. If not, this is going to tell your narrative when it goes up to the judge, and you're going to be the one that's going to be disassembled or taken apart or ultimately destroyed. You're going to be the one that's going to be serving life and sentence here. Yeah. Whatever that might be. You guys see what I'm getting at? You got to build tension. You got to understand. Not only that, right? When you're taking a look at all of this, one of the key things with this is understanding spacing. Speaking about spacing, we're currently on ads, so we'll be right back, everyone, after this commercial break. So, why do you think that is, right? Why do you think I'm going throughout all of this, right? Whether it's slowing down, intentional moments of silence. Here's the thing. Whenever you're doing any form of investigation and stuff like this, you have to aim for a window of tolerance. And in therapy, we call this window of tolerance, you know, the window of therapy, really, for the most part, right? Where it's between being anxious and being flat, right? Ultimately, when we look at this window of tolerance, when you're in here, it's a lot easier for you to start, because if you're flat, if I don't get any emotion out of you, if I can't get any sort of fear out of Kimch, right? If like Kimch is sitting across from me and they're like, whatever, loser, they don't feel anything, nothing whatsoever, I'm not going to get anywhere. So no progress. If it's way over here, what do you think is going to happen? If it's way over here, like let's say that they're so shut down, exactly. Fight, flight, freeze. You have your survival instincts. So we're aiming for the middle. We're aiming for a sweet spot right in the middle where I would be, hey, Kimch, let's talk about this, right? Ultimately, this is going to get you life in prison unless I know your side of the story. And if your side of the story is saying that what I have there is wrong, then tell me about it. Otherwise, it's not just you that, you know, you can go on from there, right? You have to be comfortable in switching the roles and knowing when to switch them. At the same time, knowing when to apply pressure to get into the Goldilocks zone. And that is an aspect of interrogation that you either have it or you don't. There are so many people out there that are, I hate to put it this way, psychologically bad at interrogating and at investigating. Why? One thing a therapist is trained for is open-ended questions. Is to get the individual open to speak about themselves, to speak about anything and everything. Remember, anything and everything that you say in a room like that is subject to be used against you in the court of law. I always remember my friend that's a lawyer. Sorry, I'm going to state this because I just remember he would shout it at me every single time. He's like, in the United States, he's like, if you get pulled over, shut the fuck up, call your lawyer. Don't say a word. The only thing you should ask is if you're being detained or if you're free to go. If they say you're being detained, shut the fuck up, call a lawyer. Even if they offer you water, don't touch the water. You know, because they can get DNA and use that against you, you know. Yeah, that's something I hear a lot, especially for the U.S. Straight up, he's like, just wait for your lawyer. You know, that's something that always call your lawyer, and that way you're set to go. The help to say you have the right to remain silent. Here's the thing. when you get pulled over, when a lot of people get pulled over, what's the first thing that people do? Or first thing that people say? A lot of people want to justify what they're doing. A lot of people want to justify what they're doing. A lot of individuals feel the need to defend themselves. But you have to remember, a cop is not there to say whether you're guilty or not. A cop is just there saying that you violated an infraction, or they think you violated an infraction. The person that's supposed to hear your reasoning is a judge. Exactly. I didn't do it, which is panic snitching on yourself. I hope that makes sense. But even further than that, does an android get a lawyer? Do they have, again, rights even to begin with? I hope that that makes sense for all of you. And I hope that like these little conversational moments help you as well understand what it's like to actually be in there and the training that goes behind this. Because one of the trainings that we have, and one of the trainings that goes on through this, right, is motivational interviewing. Getting you to open up, right? Getting you to try and open up and do what you think is best for yourself, even if that ends up coming against you, right? Kim, are you free to go? No. Not unless you get some new Pokemon cards. We'll talk about that later. What about body language? Well, yeah. Here's the thing. If you're gonna like for body language and stuff like this, right? Number one, it depends as to how you want to be. Again, if you want to be friendly, get them to open up. Get them to open up. You mirror their body language, right? If you want to be stoic and not show anything, then you just don't show anything, right? It's dependent as to how you want to go ahead and do it, right? If you're standing and you want to go ahead and showcase, I'm greater than you and I'm going to make you uncomfortable, stand up and then like slowly come sitting down and to join them, right? And be like, I'm going to level with you. That's a good way to get a person to open up.
Fuck it. I'm out of here.
Oh, no.
We're wasting our time interrogating a machine. We'll get nothing out of it.
You can always try roughing it up a little.
No.
After all, it's not human.
Androids
Wow.
don't feel pain. You would only damage it, and that wouldn't make it talk. Deviants also have a tendency to self-destruct when they're in stressful situations.
Okay, smartass.
Well, damn.
What should we do then?
I could try questioning it.
What do we have to lose? Go ahead. Suspect's all yours.
What do we have to lose? Oh, shit. Wait a minute. All right. Now we're gonna... Now we got a fucking piece of RAM here. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta look menacing too. Hold on. I got this. I got this. Nick, the Star Maker, isn't it? Huh. Why is it gotta be the Star Maker, huh? Nicky, yeah, Nicky. Can I call you Nick? Why don't we start off by saying Nick, huh? Wow. Just see, immediately, you know, I'm doing nothing, right? But just a simple act of walking around for a lot of people and not even taking the first, like sitting down, right, can immediately get you to just start feeling uncomfortable. The fact that like we don't even have to like take a seat first. I love it because that's a tactic. That's a straight up tactic that you can do. You can spend your time wow. All right. Hold on.
What the fuck is it doing now?
We're building tension. Ooh, your arms. Damn. Let's take a seat. You've seen me walk around for a little bit. Ooh. Burn marks. Over 16 months. Carlos DNA. Property of Carlos Ortiz. Housekeeper. Ah! You were a housekeeper. Housekeeping! And you didn't let me in? Dang. I see how that is. Signs of instability. Probability of self-destruction. No. Okay. Let's do this. Is that a window of tolerance? Reach optimal strength. Is that a window of tolerance? Is that a window of tolerance? Wait a minute. Hold up. It is kinda. It is. Hold up. I saw the little. Oh shit. Okay. Oh fuck. Oh jeez. All right. Let's talk about fear.
I detected instability in your program.
Death.
I trigger an unpleasant feeling. Like
Scare.
fear in humans.
Yeah. I got some photos for you.
You recognize him? It's Carlos Ortiz. Stabbed 28 times. That was written on the wall in his blood.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get there. Let's try and blame.
You're accused of murder.
Exactly.
You know you're not allowed to endanger human life under any circumstances.
But yet you did it.
Do you have anything to say in your defense?
Okay, it's staying there. You know what? Let me probe your memory.
If you won't talk, I'm going to have to probe your memory.
No!
Oh.
No, please don't do that. What?
They got you to look up. They're probably gonna disassemble you, destroy you.
Destroy me, aren't they?
Yep.
They're going to disassemble you to look for problems in your biocomponents.
Yep, we gotta keep
They
that
have no
stress level
choice
high.
if they want to understand what happened.
Why did you tell them you found me? Why couldn't you just have left me there?
I gotta tell the truth. This is how you build rapport. You gotta be truthful.
I was programmed to hunt deviants like you. I just accomplished my mission.
Exactly.
I don't want to die.
Then talk to me.
Exactly.
I
Talk. Communicate, please.
I can't.
Why not? Okay.
You leave me no choice.
No, I don't want to probe. Fuck! I don't want to do that. I messed up. Hold on. I pressed the wrong key. I pressed the wrong key here. Can I go back and restart? Yeah. I was trying to say convince, and my fat finger here pressed the wrong key. I'm not trying to probe it. I'm trying to go ahead and like use probing as a fear, and I'm really trying to go ahead and use that as a fear tactic to enable everything else to go through it. It was a misinput. It was a fat finger. Hey, I'm a safe scummer. I'm the last person to tell someone it, even if they meant it. Oh no, the game crashed. How sad. All right, we got this. Now we got to be menacing again. I really like how this is This is set up to be very real in that manner, you know? What an inconvenient time for the game to crash. Wow. No, like if it's a decision I make, I'll say it's a decision I make. If I mess up and I misclick, I'll let you guys know I messed up and I misclicked. So, this is where I'm going to say we've laid the foundation now. Now, we convince it. Right? We convince it by... Let's do a little threatening.
If you don't talk,
there you
they're
go.
going to tear you apart and analyze you piece by piece. They're going to destroy you. Do you understand?
Yep, we got a little bit of comfort.
I know you're scared.
But I'm here for you. You don't have to go through this alone.
I'm disturbed by what happened.
Yeah.
Talk to me, and you'll feel better. Confess, and I'll protect you.
I got you, dude.
I promise I won't let anyone hurt you.
He tortured me every day. I did whatever he told me, but there was always something wrong. Then one day, he took a bat and started hitting me.
Oh no.
For the first time, I felt scared.
Oh.
Scared he might destroy me. Scared I might die.
Oh.
Grabbed a knife and I stabbed him in the stomach.
Yeah.
I felt better. So I stabbed
Fear
him
of
again,
death, yeah.
and again, until he collapsed. There was blood everywhere.
Tell me about the writing.
Why did you write "I am alive" on the wall?
He used to tell me I was nothing.
Oh.
That I was just a piece of plastic.
So you wanted to showcase that you live.
I had to write it. To tell him he was wrong.
Yeah. Tell me.
The sculpture in the bathroom. You made it, right? What does it represent?
It's an offering.
An offering?
An offering so I'll be saved.
The sculpture was an offering.
But an offering to
An
what?
offering to whom?
To RA9.
RA9?
Only RA9 can save us.
RA9.
Yeah,
It was written
RA9?
on the bathroom wall. What does it mean?
Yeah, spirituality with androids.
When we will no longer be slaves.
Ooh!
No more threats.
Ooh!
No more humiliation. We will be the masters.
Alright, but what is RA9?
RA9. Who is RA9? Why did you hide in the
Yeah,
attic?
Wow.
Instead of running away.
I didn't know what to do. For the first time, there was no one there to tell me. I was scared.
Oh.
So I hid.
When did you
Fear.
start feeling emotion?
Yeah, what's a trigger?
Before he used to beat me and I never said anything.
Right.
But one day I realized it wasn't fair. I felt anger, hatred. And then I knew what I had to do.
The voice actors.
I'm done.
Oh. Sorry, my friend. The voice direction is peak. And we got him to open up, right? We just have to keep our promises and our word.
All right, let's go.
Leave me alone.
Yo!
The fuck are you doing?
You shouldn't touch it.
Yeah, what are you doing?
It feels threatened.
Stay out of this, got it? The fucking android's gonna tell me what to do.
What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
You don't
Stop!
understand. If it self-destructs, we won't get anything out of it.
I told you to shut your fucking mouth.
Did you do the interrogation or
Chris,
me?
this asshole or what? I'm trying.
Stop!
You do that.
Yeah.
Leave it alone now. I warned you, motherfucker.
That's enough.
Mind your own business, Hank.
I said that's enough.
Oh! Oh!
You're not gonna get away with it this time.
Hank! Oh! I told him I was gonna protect him, right?
Everything is all right.
You gotta be a man of your word there.
Nobody's gonna hurt you. Please, don't touch it. Let it follow you out of the room, and it won't cause any trouble.
The truth is inside.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Software instability going up. What do you mean? No! Is that it? No! No! Chat, what'd you think? What'd you think of my interrogation tactics, aside from my fat finger? What did you guys think? Is Connor gonna be? Yeah, it's all leading to instability, right? For everyone in this regard. I hope you guys learned a little bit something, you know, about interrogation techniques. Is that a good outcome? I don't know. I don't know anything about this game. As you guys can tell, literally, we've gone from Deltarune up to this. I'm trying my best. I'm leading with empathy, and I think that's my main regard, is I'm trying to lead with empathy first. And that's my first priority, is making sure that we're taking an empathetic route. Can we be a little mean? Sure, if that serves the main purpose of trying to save people, right? It's about, oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. There's no correct path. There's no correct path. But there's so many possibilities. And I think that this is what gives this game probably a lot of replay value. Is like you go through and you pick a different choice and you see the outcome that'll have on the entire narrative as it's forming as well. For me, let's break it down backwards, shall we? Let's do that, chat. So what was I doing with them, chat? A lot of things could have gone wrong. In this scenario here where we're questioning the android, we have to understand that for me, immediately I tackle on the lowest levels of the triangle. This is what you question. You question the lower levels in order to get them stressed out. And in order to calm them, you empathize with the higher levels. Do you see how that works? If you really want to stress someone out a little bit, I can simply go like this. I guess I'll use Vince. Hey, Vince. Why don't we get your dad on the line right now, and why don't you explain exactly what you did? I have the evidence here. How about I go over it and I read this file aloud to him? See how that immediately, for a lot of us, if it's like, I'm going to call your dad right in front of you, and this is, oh, no. Yeah, for a lot of us, immediately, when you start, try to look and understand how interrogation, how sequences work, you know, understand that by attacking the bottom three aspects of this triangle of needs, we start getting and raising a person's anxiety. If you start questioning their body, employment, resources, morality, the family, health, friends, guess what? A lot of people, simply the question is like, hey, how's your sex life? Immediately spirals them into like, you know, like they start getting anxious and stuff. How would you respond if someone said, okay, and you follow through with it? You follow through with it, because ultimately, if you back off, what do you think you're sending? If I say, I'm going to call your dad right now, right? Or your mom or whoever, you know, just understanding of your family is, let's call a guardian here. If it's a guardian, if you're, you know, whatever that may be, or a close family member or whatever. That's a loss. Yeah. If you don't follow through with whatever you're throwing out there, they're not going to take your word seriously. But in this scenario, and I use that just as an extreme, just to showcase that if you target the bottom three, you're raising that stress level. However, if you empathize with the top three, you lower the person's stress level. If you empathize with the top three, you lower their overall stress level. If you're like, wow, you know what? You're somebody that's very respected within the community, or you're someone that I can see growing and, you know, your account's doing amazing or whatever that may be. If you start empathizing with the top three, guess what? Now you start getting them in that aspect. So it's a balancing act. And that's the number one thing to understand is aspects like this, while outdated, you know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs might be a little outdated. It's important to understand and realize how you can materialize and use this for your advantage. Cool. From there, what do you attack next? Outdated in that there's still there's been update. There's like an updated aspects of hierarchy or hierarchy of need that has like not intergenerational, but like intersocial aspects to it, which is now expanded. It's a much bigger hierarchy of needs, but it seems it's in hot debate no matter what aspect, you know. Now you go after this. You get a little bit of information. Now you go after this. How do you think understanding this helps you? I'll put it very simple. A secure person in an environment like this would be quiet and very confident about themselves. If I walk in and I start seeing your body language, you know, get nervous and you're struggling to communicate, you're anxious. Guess what? Now I can use that against you as well. If you're just aloof and dismissive and whatnot, I can start using your attachment styles against you as well, right? If you're anxious, guess what? I can build into that stress, and I know I don't got to push that far. If you're avoidant, fearful, well, guess what? If you're strongly fearing rejection, you have low self-esteem, I can push into that. And if you're dismissive altogether, you know, I have to change my tactic and try and get you invested to care. And dismissive might be like, I don't care. Whatever, man. And if that's the case, that means that you, as the interrogation specialist, have to put a hook that's big enough for the person to care. Something that is important to them. Because even though you might be avoidant dismissive, it does not mean that you're dismissive towards everything. It means that you're dismissive in this case, but there will be something out there that you really care about. Exactly, Pink. You find the things that they do care about, and you use that as sort of the bait. I don't know why I'm teaching you guys interrogation tactics. Welcome to stream, I guess. You're learning psychology of criminal psychology, interrogation tactics, you know. With this comes in the next layer. See, it all stacks up. Everything I'm teaching you guys stacks up with one another. Now, we've gone over this 1,000 times if you've been here for other streams and stuff like this. What do we think we do here? We've already like understand your attachment stuff. We've already gone through that stuff. Chat, this is the next layer. This might make you think a little bit. But in your head, if you're just jumping in and you have to do it, you have to do it quick. Freedom. Right? They were a raider. They destroyed. They were a tyrant. So instantly, safety, right? They're a victim. Now we know the things that we can touch on. It sounds to me like, you know, safety was a major concern. Tell me more about that. How big what does freedom mean to you? What does it mean for you to get control or have control? Did you feel like a destroyer going through this aspect, or do you feel completely trapped now? You see where I'm getting at? These might seem like aloof questions, but once I ask this question as to what does freedom look like for you, or tell me about this aspect of being free, yep, guess what? They can open up and be like, you know what, this and this, I was bullied every day. Tell me about safety, right? Like, do you feel like you're safe now? Or tell me a little bit about as to what safety looks like. Safety looks like this, and, you know, back then I didn't, like, allowing people the opportunity to open up. Because you know that you're touching on the shadow archetypes, what they might internally carry on with them, that is the big weight as to why they're there, as opposed to the outside, right? You might be like, you're innocent. We know that they're a victim and that this android has gone through stuff, you know, and we can touch on them being innocent, right? Like that was not your fault. Like, you know, them going through and doing that to you, that like, you know, you're innocent of that. Like they had no right to do that. I'm establishing that safety for you so that way you can gain that trust. If I can rupture this bridge for you, guess what? You're going to open up to me. Same thing with this, right? Like same thing with Explorer Freedom, same thing with Creator Innovator, same thing with Ruler and Tyrant. Like now you have control over your own life, right? You see where I'm getting at with this? Slave turned criminal. Yep. Outlaw and criminal. Liberation. I use this because at times you got to be quick at understanding what's at play here and what's the bridge. And if you're able to use that bridge and play on both sides, you're able to get a full story. You're able to go from like, oh, like, so you were the victim. Tell me about that. You know what? You must have gone through so much. Like, I can't even believe it. It must have been quite a bit to be there. Like, I'm turning you like to being innocent altogether, right? I know that safety is at play and I can follow that up with the safety question. It all pays off, chat. All of these lessons pay off because they stack up on one another. This is how psychology works. It's understanding how to flip from a person's outside, good archetypes, to their shadow archetypes, and question the in-between, sort of the mastery at play, to see where they're at, see where you're at as an individual. Which brings us to the next one. Now that you've questioned that a little bit, we go on to Bronfenbrenner's. You can do this in any variety. Bronfenbrenner's ecological theorem. And now we say, well, give me a full picture. Now that we've gained rapport, now that you've told me a little bit about yourself, paint me a full picture. What did it look? What does your everyday look like? You know, I want to understand this. If I'm to protect you, I got to understand your day in, day out. Tell me about your home. Tell me about the neighborhood, about your family. Open-ended questions. Because if I said, what did you live in a good house? Yes. Cool. That didn't give me any information. But tell me about your home. It's up to you. You can go endlessly. Try practicing it. This is something I'm going to give y'all for homework. Try practicing. Two things I'm going to give you for homework. Number one, if you are super duper anxious at conversations and you stutter or you're just very, very nervous and you don't know how to keep a conversation going, here's one thing that you can practice, and it comes from a video game. It's highly, highly effective. It's called the solid snake technique. Okay. What does this mean? It means you take the ending of whatever might be happening. We might be doing in a deep conversation with someone and they're like, and you know, it really like, you know, I was driving in my car, and I found out that I was running out of gas. And because I was running out of gas, I ended up like doing a hard turn to try and get into the gas station. And, you know, all of this, guess what? All I have to remember right after a beer. Yeah. All I have to remember is sort of that last sentence and then ask it back to you in that thing. You had to make a rough turn? Yeah. You know, I almost hit a car. And while I was there, it's a natural way to have the conversation going. Take the last bit of whatever sentence might be going on, naturalize it, and you can keep it going. For those of you guys that suffer and don't fully, like, you know, for all my neurospicy, neurodivergent friends out there that struggle at times with keeping a conversation going, there you go. For everyone all together, this is your next part of your homework, in case you're okay with that. Open-ended questions. Practice asking open-ended questions. Oh, thank you, Ed. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, repeat it back and they will keep the combo going. Absolutely. That's how conversation goes. And if you add an emotion to it, that sounds tough. You had to do that right turn. Like, it adds so much layer to it. Like, you'll get, yeah. But for open-ended questions, practice doing open-ended questions. And you will get so good at getting people to open up that it becomes scary. It becomes scary to the point where, you know, you might get to a level where once you start learning intervention techniques, you might be there. You might be there. So this is why you start using the open-ended questions on everything. Gives you more time to think. Yeah. Gives you much more time to think, right? Once you start asking open-ended questions on this, then you're set. Because from there, You can start diagnosing everything. You can start going into, well, it sounds like they've threatened you and it doesn't sound like a safe situation. Power and control wheel. Then you can start going into all the other elements out there. I hope this makes sense. For this scene, I love this scene. I love this conversation scene. I love this interrogation scene because we saw all of the set play. I'll be honest, I'm still geeked the fuck out. I'm like, that's just absolute psychology. Absolute psychology, y'all. The fact that there was that window of optimization there, you know, that window of tolerance that I was talking about earlier, that was there. That was just absolute psychology. Absolutely brilliant. And I might be Detroit pilled here, you know, like that was fucking awesome. That was absolutely awesome. Okay, now we take it one back. Carl and Marcus. Oh, he's going to like that. By the way, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. I hope I'm doing a good job and you guys are enjoying this so far. And if you're watching this and it's on YouTube, hey, the complete unedited video is up on the Patreon. It's only $1 and you get access to everything. Stuff that might still not be up on YouTube yet because we're taking our time with it. That scene, oftentimes a lot of our grandpapas or grandparents, there's a form of attachment that happens with their caregivers, especially because their caregivers at some point in time are seeing them more than unfortunately we do. This is also the point in time where there's a lot of defensive and guards that needed to come through to protect elderly, right? Because there's a lot of elder abuse everywhere. Fun fact, did you know that elders are also some of the highest individuals for rates of STDs? They're at the end of their life. So they kind of go ham. Just saying, especially those in nursing homes and stuff. For those of y'all that didn't know. But fascinating. I know it is. It is. It really is. I had to work, do end of life therapy for elder populations. And to hear some of those stories of these elderly people sneaking off into each other's beds at night, and the nurses are just like, they're adults. What do we do? They're adults, full well thinking adults. Yeah. Anyway, so when we're looking at that, like oftentimes there's this deep attachment that forms. For me, it was two choices. And I guess I'll put it this way. For Carl, I see them a lot like a grandparent. And it was like either let his kid ultimately endanger Carl or protect myself and protect Carl. What did you guys do? Save yourself, pushed. Haven't played yet myself. I think I would have endured it. What does that say about you all? And that's a question. Are some of you guys natural fighters and try and find ways to deviate back? Or are some of you all people pleasers? And sometimes you just endure a lot in your life. Or have you learned to just be good, happy, people pleasing, and just endure it? It'll be over if you endure it. I would trust Carl to know best. I did endure it, same, but otherwise I just endure. That's huge. That is huge. That is huge. And for me, that is something that'll, I'm like, oh, I can't believe we went through so many scenes so quickly. All right, I'm going to jump through and go into the Kara and the Todd sequence there. That is scary. Like abuse can happen like that. And it's true. Sometimes it's a slow buildup, it's a slow buildup that can take a while and get us there. For me, that was a fight or flight moment. And I'll be honest, once I saw that and once he started walking that way, it's a run. I'm going to run for it and I'm going to save this baby. Like, I'm going to save this baby no matter what. Because ultimately, I don't think that we could reason with Todd. And if we did, I feel like he would just take that out on us and we'd probably be destroyed. If we tried to do any other option, I have a feeling it was just going to get worse and worse and worse. Todd is not at the point in time where they're even safe around themselves. And because they're not at that point in time where they can be safe around themselves, what makes us think that they're safe and sound to be around the kid? Todd is a danger to himself and others. Exactly. And that was at the forefront of my decision making there. save the kid, you know, save myself. Let's get out of here. I don't care what I got to do. We got to get there. And the thing is, Todd is so enveloped in their own aspect, their own delusions. And it's, that's what it's making me wonder. Is Todd, is it because of the substance that they're using? Because clearly, you know, apparently his partner used to tell him that, right? Like, you need to stop doing that. You're scaring me. So what do you think? It just all started going downhill for Todd from what I'm understanding. And all of this is just his perfect opportunity to play house and try and be a different person, be the prove them wrong, right? When in reality, he's just digging a deeper hole and going further and further in. And he shouldn't be around anybody. He should be working on himself and working on trying to find a job and, you know, working to get out of this addiction. That's huge. I really don't have much else to say about that. I thought that was pretty self-explanatory. I love the scene. It was very tense. And now we move back one to the murder and everything that happened there. That was pretty fucking cool. I'm still like, yes. I love seeing all the little details of everything working down in here. And I think the main aspect that we're trying to get at, and it's making me wonder, is Mr. Anderson going to save us? Overall, fantastic game, fantastic sequences that we went through. Some of them were really short, but nice. But for the most part, they have a lot to go ahead and talk about. I know that we've been at this for 3 hours and change. I appreciate you all. Let's go over to questions time. Do you guys have any questions or anything that comes out that you guys wanted a little bit further information before we end? I hope each and every single one of you enjoyed it. And if you did, please make sure to go and leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video around. It means a lot. It helps a lot. Do we think Hank, we first would have stood up? No. The Hank we first met at the bar would not have stood up for us, you know? I think the Hank that we got at the very end there is like starting to be like, wait a minute, like there's something different. You know, that's awesome. Alice analysis, sure. Let's talk about that just a little bit before I end. Let's talk about trauma. How traumatic is it for a kid to go through this, where they would rather trust an android almost completely versus their own father? What does this showcase? Actually, how many times has Alice had to go through this and just get it done and over with? Get hit, get abused, get thrown, whatever, you know, Todd is feeling that day, in order for them to find some sort of peace. I've heard of kids, young kids, that completely dissociate. And unfortunately, there's scenarios or things where we've had to work through where the kid admitted to dissociating from a lot of trauma, a lot of SA, a lot of different styles of abuse that were happening. Ultimately, because their philosophy was if they dissociated, it was done and over with, and they can go back to doing whatever they needed to do. And at times, like even though mom, dad, people might be in the picture, people will just ignore it because they don't want to destroy their illusion of a family. Has definitely been through this for, yeah. Poor Alice has been through so much, and that's what I'm saying is empathy is afforded everywhere, you know, everywhere it can, in that regard. And you know, I guess just showcasing this way, if you were an android, would you deviate? If you were an android, would you start deviating, or would you stick to obeying what people told you to do? Chat, with that being said, practice some self-care. I appreciate that. Remember, I'm not your psychologist. I am a psychologist, but I'm not your psychologist. So practice some self-care. Seek mental health help in your area. And as always, and I guess I'll be very honest. Here, come on close. Hey, I really, and take it from a random stranger on the internet, and you might just be needing to hear this. I believe in you. No matter what you might be going, even if you're struggling right now and you're going through addiction counseling or you're thinking about getting help, get some help. I believe in you. You have the ability to change. We all do. It starts with you. And, you know, if you're thinking about, you know, maybe starting a new routine, doing something drastic or different or an aspect of change, do it. Please, you know, do whatever it is that makes you happy and that allows you the opportunity to take that next step, you know, and sometimes all we need is to know that there's one person out there that really believes in us and really wants that aspect of change, and do it, please. You know, I will be your biggest cheerleader, a random stranger in the internet over here cheerleading you on. But please do something amazing, because I know that each and every single one of you are capable of doing amazing things. With that being said, have a phenomenal night, and I'll see you guys later. Be safe, YouTube.